Rockeyez would like to welcome John Blaze of Scarecrow. Hey man, what's up? What's going on?
What's up, Brian? Nice to be with you this early morning.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, listen, you just sent me over the Scarecrow CD, Blood, Sweat, and 20 Years, which I listened to this morning and quite a bit over the, past couple of days. Amazing CD. I mean, sounds of so many different bands like Priest, Legs Diamond, Angel, and the list goes on. And tell me a little bit about the CD before we get into your past.
Sure. So, first of all, thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time. It's really great to be part of your show. I've been watching you and what you're doing too, and thank you for including me and the Scarecrow project into your world. Um, the this CD that I put out, entitled "Blood, Sweat, and 20 Years," is really, you could view it as a best of record of the history of the band Scarecrow. It had started about 20 years ago, and was originally formed with Eddie Ojeda from Twisted Sister. And we had a really pretty good run working with record producer Tom Werman. And basically what you're hearing on this record is a bunch of stuff that I did with Eddie, and then some other things that, as the band evolved over its 20-year history, with different members coming in and out, and it goes through a lot of different emotions. It goes through a lot of different genres of music that were in my head. And you mentioned these bands like Judas and Angel and stuff, and I just want you to know I appreciate that too, because I'm from that world and I love those guys. And I guess what happens is after listening to them over the years too, it sort of gets ingrained in my own brain, and I write a particular way and might even sing in a certain style. So thanks for noticing that. It's
No
real
problem.
cool.
No problem at all. Tell me a little about some of the tracks. Well, let's start off with "Till the Day I Die," which kind of has a Bon Jovi feel and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, again, the album has been written over a 20-year mark. So there was definitely a time when Bon Jovi was on top, and so they had a particular style of writing, and I think that clicked in my brain. And so Till the Day I Die was sort of around that peak of that, where I was influenced by them because I always liked their melody. And the title of the song "Till the Day I Die" was basically also written um, when the band was going through this sort of self-assurance kind of phase, and we were trying to express to our fans, no matter whatever happens, we're going to rock until the day we die. And it was also my own sort of mark to say that I'm in it for the long run. I started in the music business. It's in my blood. It'll never be out of my blood. And I still stand behind those words that say, "Till the day I die, I'll rock for you."
Cool, cool. Now, how many CDs did you actually put out? Because I see a self-titled, I see a Touch of Madness, and I guess one of the bigger ones, the Gothic rock opera, Sins of the Scarecrow.
Hmm.
Um, Anything else?
From the Scarecrow collection, no. There was a debut record which came out, which was on Red Light Records, an independent label out of Chicago, I believe they were, and we did that first record, and that was mostly the stuff that started in the early days of the demos with Tom Werman and Eddie Ojeda. And then there was another reincarnation of Scarecrow, which we did the Touch of Madness record for another label called Pavement Music, which was distributed through Zoo BMG, from what I understand. And then much later, The Sins of a Scarecrow, it was sort of the evolution of me wearing makeup. Um, it was a little bit of the departure. Scarecrow as a band was a pretty straight-ahead rock band, and I have these imageries of wearing makeup a la like Kiss or Alice Cooper, who have been great influences on me. So Sins of a Scarecrow was sort of a branch off that with some different tracks and more geared towards like a gothic rock opera. Matter of fact, we had, because I'm such great Kiss fans and things like that, I got to hook up with the late great Bill Auckline. Do you remember him?
Yes.
So basically, I was real flattered. Bill came down and saw the Sins of a Scarecrow and saw me doing my makeup thing, and I was real humbled and flattered when he said I was a star. And he loved the concept, he loved the makeup, he loved the character, he loved the branding of Scarecrow, and he took us on, well, took me on management, and then unfortunately, we all know that he had passed away.
Right.
And but I did remain with his partner, a gentleman named Costa, who was also at Globe Entertainment, so he remains my manager. So now what we did is we took the 20 years of music over the scope of Scarecrow. We came up with Blood, Sweat, and 20 Years, and we're looking to really take it to the next level. So when I go out and perform, we will incorporate the makeup and do the whole bit.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, I noticed that the release that you sent me, is there an alternate cover? Because I saw another cover, I guess maybe in 2011. I guess I'm not sure if it was on your website or whatever, or your Facebook. The cover was different, and yet it was still the same title.
It was still the same title. Was it entitled Blood, Sweat, and 20 Years?
Yes.
Oh, you know what that was? The story, you're very observant, by the way, Brian. That's very cool. I love it. You do your history. I think it's awesome.
Thanks.
You know what happened was when I was doing the original, putting the record together, I love tattoos and I love that sort of imagery. I think Poison had done a cover like that at one point with a tattoo, and
right.
What I did is I had a cover made entitled Blood, Sweat, and 20 Years that looked like a tattoo with the skull and had crosses through the eyes
and
stuff as my character had. I thought it was really cool, but I submitted it to the record company and they didn't dig it.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty cool too. So they just didn't really like the imagery. I liked the imagery, so I kept it posted on my website. And then, you hand stuff into the record label, and Spectra Records has been a great label, and they wanted to go in sort of a different imagery and direction. So we came up with the new image that's on the current Spectra Records release, and I'm happy with that too. I really like both. They're two different feels. But I understand the marketing and a certain look that they wanted to see, and I think we captured it in the artwork that we just put out.
Cool. Now, you also worked with Tony McAlpine, Dee Snider's Van Helsing, and Swift Kick. Can you tell me anything about that little bit of era in your life?
Of course. Well, I started, many moons ago. I'm not going to date myself, but a long time ago with a band called Swift Kick, which was basically a cover group, and we got our start with Twisted Sister. Matter of fact, when Twisted Sister was banging around in the clubs during their first record and that whole pre-release kind of early phase, Dee wasn't didn't want to sing. We had to do 3 1-hour sets in those days
right.
of music at clubs, in these clubs like Speaks and the Mad Hatter, Stony Brook, and all these places. And so they wanted to cut it down to 2 hours, but the club, required 3 hours of music. So they brought us on as an opening act, which was really cool. So we did the first hour, and Twisted Sister did the second 2. So that's where we got our start from, and that's what started the friendship with Dee Snider and I over the years, and with me and Eddie Ojeda and JJ and Mendoza and all the guys. So Swift Kick sort of then branched off, and we had our own great run of the cover scene, and then we started doing originals. We put out some albums. We got to open for the Ramones, Cyndi Lauper, Alvin Lee. We had some pretty cool runs there for a while. Then the guys from Swift Kick sort of went in their own direction. Tony, the guitar player, went with Joan Jett, and then he went with Rihanna and Enrique Iglesias. The keyboard player went over to Billy Squire. Some great musicians came out of the band. And then after that sort of disbanded, me and Eddie got together. We started Scarecrow, and that's where that went. Then during the life of Scarecrow, somebody out in California, a manager that I was in touch with, really liked my voice, and he said, would I come out to California and do a record with Tony McAlpine? And I was like, sure. I love Tony's guitar playing.
Right.
And so I went out there, and I did about 4 or 5 tracks with Tony. It came out really cool, but I think they submitted it to the record company, and it just didn't fly.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't the right combination. Who knows what record companies want or anything like that. So I don't think it really ever saw the light of day. But it was a great experience to work with Tony on that.
Very cool. Very cool. You also started Arabia, and that's where you met up with Paul Sabu at the Z-Rock Festival. Can you tell me anything about that show or anything?
Sure. Well, basically, what happened is that I'm pretty much the writer and producer of the music of Scarecrow music. Obviously, I don't do it all by myself. I collaborated with many great writers along the way to create the music that you hear on the Scarecrow record. But for the most part, I'm the main guy and do all the vocals and the melody lines. And so I had the ownership of the music over the years. And what I really did is took that music, which is Scarecrow, and I relicensed it over in the UK, because the deals that I have for Scarecrow licensing only incorporated domestic and other areas, but not in the UK and the European market. So I met up with a gentleman named Mark Alger from Z Records, and he had his own branding of this name, Arabia, and what we actually did is took the Scarecrow tracks and branded it as Arabia in the UK.
Right.
And I would been going over there since about 2000, 2001 and doing Z-Rock festivals over there.
Uh-huh.
And supporting him as Arabia over there. The festivals were sort of going good. I think we're at the last leg of the Arabia tenure over there. I think we released one record, and we just released a second record. It hasn't been really flying too much, so I don't think we're going to see a third record. And I had the opportunity to meet Paul Sabu during this last festival that was over there, and me and Paul just clicked. It's not often that singers, click, but
right.
Me and Paul clicked. He's a great guy. I love his voice. I mean, it blows me away. He sounds like Sammy Hagar at times, and he just floors me. So it was the festival wasn't the greatest turnout that we had wanted, but good things came out of it, that I got to meet with Paul, and hopefully me and him are going to write some songs together too, and maybe produce some new tracks.
Cool, cool. Now, will there be any Scarecrow shows coming up or anything like that?
That's a great question. I mean, I did so many years in the, banging in the local bars.
Right.
That it's a little difficult for me to sort of go back to that at times and play, for the bartender and maybe the guy who's
right.
cleaning the back room or something like that. So it's a little hard to do that. I enjoy it. I love it, but I'm having a little bit more vision of trying to get on with a little bit bigger things.
Right.
So I'm really following the record company, my manager, and a booking agency to try and get us on some shows. We were just going to play at the Paramount Theater in Huntington,
Uh-huh.
but the guitar player who I work with, his name is George Cintron, had a conflicting gig and couldn't do it. So we're trying to get out there. We're trying to do it, but I'm trying to do it in a little bit different light, in maybe a theater setting, instead of just a smaller club or something like that. And I don't mind smaller clubs if the record company says to go do it, and if we have good promotion with the CD that I can get a good turnout.
Right.
I got no problem with that at all. But I'm trying to get on a little bit of a tour or a smaller thing to get us on with. To sort of get on more of a concert type stage or a theater setting if I can.
Cool, cool. So what are your hopes for 2012, the rest of the year?
To be healthy, sane, wise.
Definitely.
To meet new people in my life, to have positive energy, and to hopefully see if this Scarecrow can touch the nerves of a new generation, and people go, hey, that's really pretty cool, and I like the way that looks, and I dig it, and to sort of revive it, because I think it's been dormant for a little bit too long, and it's something that's very personal, so to me over the years. So I'm hoping in this new year to be healthy, strong, and to gain the awareness of the public of Scarecrow again.
Cool, cool. Well, I congratulate you on the CD, Blood, Sweat, in 20 Years. It's an amazing CD. Hopefully people support it and go out and buy it. Do you have any parting words you'd like to tell everybody?
No, everything is way cool. You've been awesome. I do my music for the fans, so I'm hoping that, like I said, people will recognize it again and know that the songs are coming straight from the heart, and we can get out there and see them real soon.
Cool. I thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Keep up the great work, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.